Welcome back. Talkin Hoopz on chataboutit.com. This is AJ, my co-host, James, and DP. Got a lot going on right now. We're going to hear from a caller from New Jersey. Scott, you're on the line.
Hello, Scott.
Yeah, I just want to ask you guys, I used to be a Knicks season ticket holder.
Okay.
And since the Knicks have been lousy over the last few years, I feel like I have absolutely no interest in the NBA. Maybe I won't watch a game until the finals, maybe the series before the finals, but I just cannot get into it anymore.
All right, and that was it, or do you have a point, or I
wanted to hear your opinion with that. I think my interest level goes with how the Knicks play.
Well,
the Knicks have been bad for so long, I just can't get into it.
I'm a diehard basketball fan, and I'm on top of that, I am a diehard Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan for about 20 years of my life. It's, as much as the Knicks have been terrible, I'm still a big basketball fan. It still hasn't taken anything away from me in terms of watching the game of basketball, because I think there's some phenomenal players in the league right now. Basketball is at its best, and when the Knicks get better, it's just going to make it that much more better for me to get involved and watch basketball, because now hopefully I'll be able to watch some Knicks basketball in the playoffs.
Yeah, New York is craving winning basketball. This has been close to a decade now. It
has been a decade.
Right. So this area, which loves sports, it's so passionate. They love their teams around. But obviously, with the Knicks not playing well, you could see fan interest dropping. But unfortunately, there are very good players emerging. There's very good teams, even in our own area. But you can see this guy's point. You can see why a once season ticket holder now is completely uninterested in the sport.
Well, one thing about the Knicks is, the NBA does need the Knicks to be a great team, because New York is such a great market. New Yorkers love their basketball. New Yorkers are very
one thing you have always said: the NBA, compared to every other sports league, has marketed players,
exactly,
individual players, as opposed to a team as a whole. And right now, the Knicks don't have that one individual player. David Lee, I like him. We all like him in this room. I think that could be agreed on. But he is not that one player that the NBA may try to market, nor is the team playing well. So you could see the interest levels really dropping.
And actually, speaking of the Knicks, they do have a big summer ahead of them. They're going to rebuild their whole team. So there's a lot to look forward to in terms of all that happening with them in the summer. And next season, I think they're going to be a much better ball club, just having a better center. Good players that could shoot and play in Mike D'Antoni's system. I think
people are excited.
Yeah. People are definitely excited.
This is definitely going to be the biggest offseason.
Sky is the
Knicks.
limit for the Knicks this season. The sky is the limit.
And I just want to give an update right now. The Miami Heat are winning. They're up 38-24 in Miami, and my boy D Wade right now has 14 points, shooting 6 of 10 from the field.
And
making me put my foot in my mouth.
And you know what? Just to go off topic a little bit, why don't we get to a countdown, guys? Why don't you get to our countdown here?
Sticking with the Celtics series, obviously everyone saw the Kevin Garnett fight, the suspension. It got me to think. There's been a lot of good fights in the NBA, and I'm not saying that I like the violence in basketball. Everyone can remember our test a few years ago, but it got me to think. If I had to start a team solely off the base of fighting, my All-NBA Fight Club team, first guy I'm taking. We are in New York. I'm taking Charles Oakley.
I gotta agree with you there, man. Charles, growing up as a Knicks fan, Charles Oakley was just a great player to watch, and he was actually a real tough player. And one thing I want to bring up, one time, I believe it was a playoff game. I don't remember who they were playing. It might have been the Hornets, but I remember specifically John Wallace getting in some minutes in the playoff game. I forget, again, I apologize. I forget who got knocked down, but John Wallace went to go over to help the guy up, and I remember Charles Oakley getting in John Wallace's face, pushing John Wallace away, telling him, "You don't help your opponent up right now." And Charles Oakley was the type of guy where nobody, not even Shaquille O'Neal, could mess with Charles Oakley. And yeah, I said it, Shaq.
And now,
I said it.
Oakley's a chef now. He cooks. That's what he went from the NBA.
That's how he keeps his peace.
That's it. That's how he keeps.
Plus, doesn't he have Oakley's car washes all over the place still?
Oakley's car wash, and he scrambles some eggs.
Yeah.
That's the life right there.
Oakley was the man.
Next guy on my list, still playing, still on a playoff team. He's got yellow hair. I think we know what we're talking about. Ron Artest.
I would not want to be in an alley alone with that guy. You do not want to get caught in an alley alone with Ron.
Ron Artest is like a pit bull walking in and nobody knows where.
Is that your pick? Is that your pick? Is that your pick?
I'll never forget after the playoff series last year in a post game press conference, Kobe and Ron Artest were having a lot of problems on the court, and Ron Artest said right to the media, does he know he's hitting? He's hitting Ron Artest. You don't want to mess with Ron Artest.
No, Ron Artest is definitely somebody that if you're on his bad side, you better just start going the other way. Or
after Artest on my list, now we can maybe get into a little bit of a more debatable. I'm gonna put Rodman on my list. Now I could see people disagreeing with me here, but who wants to fight with a guy who wears a wedding dress? I mean,
well, DP, Dennis Rodman happened to be on my list too, and reason being is because Dennis Rodman is just what I like to call a quote unquote wild card. You know, you talk about Ron Artest being a pit bull. Well, Dennis Rodman's like a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
And it's like a Rottweiler without a leash. And if he,
look out.
Yeah, exactly.
Look out,
just
Sally.
look out. Just look out.
I believe Rodman's nickname was the Worm.
The Worm.
And that's just how his everything about him. He's just squiggly. He's squig. In the middle of a fight, you won't even be able to keep your eye on him. He'll be behind you, sucker punch.
And he's also an instigator. Rodman, watching Dennis Rodman play, he was the type of person that would try to initiate a fight and then purposely just walk away to try to get the other person look more like the bad guy.
But
he was an instigator.
At the end of the day, top 50 greatest players of all time. I love Dennis Rodman. I'm going with him. He's the man.